You know, I didn't shut the curtains, so there's probably people standing out in the backyard watching us record this podcast.
You think so?
I've heard that's a thing.
People in your neighborhood just looking for you.
That table is so far away.
I almost
just like I played a prank on you, but I didn't.
I did that to myself. I'm having a hard time. Getting situated.
Yeah. I've been having a hard time with life this week.
Okay. But you know what they say about hard times?
I don't. What do they say?
I don't know what they say.
What do you think they say about hard times?
They say fast times.
That's fast times at Rachel on High. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, 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 only Suits fans.
This is season 3, episode 14, Heartburn. Maggie.
This episode was so much.
So much happens in this episode.
I can't believe this entire season, the things that have happened in this season.
But didn't you think that in season 2?
Season 2 feels like such a distant memory. I mean, this season
I'm telling you, every season you're like, dang, I can't believe all that happened.
So much has happened.
So much. And this one was a beefcake.
This was
a massive cardiac arrest of an episode.
Literally.
Let's get straight to my brief. Yeah?
Please.
That's my brief. Code red! Code red! Louis Litt is not dead! Does that sound like Dr. Seuss?
Is that what you were going for?
No, but
you were going for Dr. Seuss with that?
I think
that was really good.
All right. I'll try it again. Code red, Louis Litt is not dead. But boy, did he give us all a scare when he attacked his closing argument and then his heart attacked him. He decides if he's going to live, that he can't live without Sheila Saz. Rachel decides she can't live without the money that Louis cheated her out of for law school and attacks her proposal to get that sweet cash from Jessica, thanks to Exhibit A. And Mike figures out a way to help Jonathan Sidwell out of a non-compete to start a new firm, and Mike gets a sweet invitation of his own from Mr. Sidwell. And Maggie finally gets what she's been wanting to see again, another glimpse of Louis Litt's bare ass.
I never said that. Amanda.
Maggie, everybody on the podcast
I've never,
knows.
ever once in my life said, Amanda, all I want from this show is to see that again.
You didn't say it like that, but you've wanted this. Everybody knows. Like, the tension that you have for Louis Litt's ass, we can all tell. Like, it's very obvious. You don't have to say it.
It's like it's something that I don't even see myself.
Yeah.
It's like it's buried beneath.
It's like when all your friends are like, does she know? Does she know? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, she has to know.
They all say that about me and Louis Litt's butt.
It's, when, like...
Is this a literal thing, or are you just, like, saying...
This is an example, but also, like... I think all of us that are part of this podcast...
No. Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
How much you wanted to see Louis Litt's bare ass.
This is funny because when I was watching this with Kyle, I was like, here it comes, here it comes. Like, I was like, we're about to see his butt, we're about to see his butt.
You knew it was coming. Congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone. And this is the episode to rewatch. Season 3, episode 14.
Yeah.
We should make just like... I hope that every season maybe we see his butt.
Yeah, I mean...
And then we can make a compilation.
That would be a nice butt compilation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start with the heart attack?
Yeah, let's start with that. I think you can't start with anything but the heart attack.
Okay. Well, Louis is in bed with Saz, and he calls her mom.
He calls her mom,
which is... That's not cool.
He doesn't call her mom.
He calls her mom.
Does he call her mom, or he calls her mom?
But he doesn't call her mom. He calls her mom.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
he calls her mom.
Right. And he is not sweaty. which is a first. He is completely dry.
Yeah. She's basically like effed the sweat out of him.
And then they tickle fight, and there's no slapping. It's the sweetest little...
It's cute.
It's sweet.
It's
very precious.
Yeah.
And then we cut to another cute couple, Mike and Rachel, and their apartment. And she is so distracted that she won't even pass the sugar or the milk, which is in an adorable little milk pouring glass vase.
Vase?
Which seems like a lot for...
You say vase?
No, but when you're talking about something that's fancy, you say vase.
Milk?
In the glass vase. The glass vase.
It's a vase.
But it's not a vase. It's a pourer thing. It's a vessel.
It's a vessel. It's a pitcher. It's a
pitcher.
decanter.
But it looks like a little milk. You know what you remember it? It's like glass, but it looks like a milk
I'm trying to remember
carton.
it being a vase.
It's not.
You know?
I think you could put flowers in it,
Right, like a vase?
like a vase. But because it's fancy, it's
Because
a
there's
vase.
milk in it.
Yeah, because there's milk in it. It's not a vase.
So if I put milk in a vase and then put flowers in it, would it
Like,
be
oh my gosh, look at that vase.
a vase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only clarifying thing is that it has to have milk in
It
it.
has to like have a multiple purpose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anyways, it seemed like a lot for just a work day breakfast. But she's so distracted because the tuition bill came in and it's insane. And luckily Lewis has agreed to pay tuition, so she just needs to go and talk to Lewis about it.
And so then we see Lewis on the phone. He's running and he has a suitcase and he tells Norma that she needs to stall for him for 10 minutes because he's going to be late to court. This woman gets in this cab that he's trying to hail. Like basically he calls it like backwalk because he was further up the street and then the cab was coming towards her, but she just like kind of like comes
Cut
in
it
and
off.
cut it off, jackknifes right in there. He's so irate. He's like, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you for sucking.
Yes.
I think that's great.
The idea of suing someone for sucking.
Yeah. So it brings me to my first deposition. If you're going to sue someone for sucking, what would they have to suck at for you to sue them?
Oh gosh.
This woman sucked because she
stole a cab.
stole a cab.
I think if I was going to sue someone for sucking, I think that's one of those things that has to be like they hit you at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know, like they're messing with the wrong person at the wrong time. And so I think it could be any minor inconvenience that on that day is a major inconvenience.
Yeah.
Oh, like I was going to take that parking spot. Or, wow, this grocery store, all the carts have squeaky wheels.
Okay.
So I'm filing a class action lawsuit on behalf of me and everyone else who is upset about the squeaky wheels. You know, things like that are just so annoying.
Uh-huh.
How about you?
You know, I got a new phone.
Oh.
And I tried to set it up. And Apple's supposed to be seamless about this. And somehow, I won't bore you with the logistics of this, but in the setup, half of my phone was working on the new one and half of it was on the other. Yeah, phone calls, text, and a couple of push notifications on one phone. And then my email and other push notifications and podcasts are on the other phone. And I'm legit working off of two phones. So I am still worked up about it and would actually like to sue Apple for sucking.
Yeah.
I'd also like to say, Apple, if you'd like to sponsor this podcast, we'd be happy. If you would just send me a new charger, that would be great.
Because, I will continue working
because
off of
the
two
new
phones.
phone, it doesn't come with a brick.
Oh, yeah, you have the new fancy cord.
Yeah, but then do I plug this in?
Right, yeah, you need to get the brick.
So I just ordered one of those, I call them like a bed charger or like a couch charger, where it stretches 35 feet.
Yeah.
It's something like that. So I'm going on a trip, and so I'll be able to definitely cross country lines, I think, with this charger. It's so long.
Do you have to have a different outlet plug when you're in Europe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a universal charger.
Oh.
It's like 40 different prongs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. Not to put that as a legitimate question.
Yeah, got that covered.
Okay. So after he decides he's going to sue her for sucking, he talks to himself and says, all right, let's lit this up, and then awkwardly jogs.
Yeah, he jogs to court.
But that let's lit this up is equally awkward.
Yeah. Oh,
Loved
absolutely.
it. So he's late, and he's running late for closing arguments, but he is ready and he is prepared. And he says, this is the kind of jury that is going to hear me when I say these 4 words. He didn't do it. And you could tell already that he was feeling kind of sick. So I was like, is he going to get these 4 words out? Because it kind of hung in the air.
Oh, you thought he was already sick then?
I did, because he was sweating now.
Oh, okay.
And he looked unwell, and the camera looked a little woozy. Like the way the camera was moving, I was like, something's going on. And then he was so sweaty, he was having a heart attack. Kyle thought he was having a kidney stone.
Yeah, well, he would think that. So then we go to Rachel and Mike, and she is very upset because she's been consumed about this whole tuition thing. Mike says just talk to Jessica, and Rachel tells Mike that like he's never allowed to have a heart attack because he finds, she finds out about Lewis. And you wrote a note of, is this foreshadowing?
I mean, what a weird thing to tell someone, like you're not allowed to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like
it was...
you're not allowed to get cavities.
Well, okay.
You're not allowed to have...
Wait a minute.
Nail clippings.
Okay, those are both very different things than a heart attack.
But you can't control a heart attack. You're not allowed to get a muscle spasm.
Okay, I think she just meant I care about you and I love you and I don't want you to have a heart attack because I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I also would not ever equate a heart attack to nail clippings.
She did.
No, she didn't. She said you can't have a heart attack.
Maggie's
ready to lit somebody up tonight.
I was just like, he can't control that. You can't tell someone not to do that.
Sure.
Anyways, is it foreshadowing? I don't think so.
I mean, I can't say that.
Donna then visits Lewis at the hospital because she's like one of his best friends.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know how this happened. I treat my body like a temple. Then he's like, but I do let those associates raise my blood pressure. And also he's commuting for booty calls every week.
Yeah. Commute booty.
Kabooty call.
Kabooty call?
Commooting.
Commuty booty?
Commuty booty.
Commuty booty call?
Commuty booty.
Commuty booty?
Hop on the commuty booty train. Choo choo.
I bet that can also take you down to somewhere else we're going to go a little bit later.
Oh.
We might use the commuty booty to get there.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
The commuty booty train.
That would be a nice, probably an express.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like a high-speed rail?
Certainly a rail.
Yeah.
He wants to get discharged. He wants to get back to work. But Donna's like, you need to cut back. Harvey would be a total mess if anything happened to you. And
I was like, she knows how to get his attention. I mean, he would be. So would they. But she needed to get his attention. And the Harvey part was like, okay.
Donna knows how to manipulate people.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Yeah.
She's a master manipulator.
Yeah.
And usually she uses her power for good. Rachel and Jessica are then in the office, and Rachel's like, hey, I know the timing's terrible, but my law school tuition's up, and so I kind of need that first check. And Jessica's like, no. The only term I know about is your 10% raise. There's absolutely no record of you getting college tuition. Dang. It's not in writing. And I'm not going to call Lewis and ask him about it. This conversation is over.
Yeah, she is not very nice to Rachel.
No, nor should she be, because this is a law firm. And Rachel's like, oh, my law school tuition is going to be paid for.
Well,
What?
He did agree to it.
Yeah, but he didn't. I would assume that the next step is to get a formal agreement.
Right.
And none of that was in a formal agreement, which seems very silly on Rachel's behalf, but also tragic.
Yeah. And so then we cut back to Sheila at the hospital, and she comes in and sees Lewis, and she's mad at him because she thinks he's working. And he goes, don't be mad at me. She goes, you think I'm mad that you had a heart attack? If you died, I wanted to die too. Which is, I guess, sweet. Yes.
I thought this was sweeter than don't have a heart attack. It's like, I would never be mad at you for having a heart attack. I'd never say you can't have a heart attack. I'm saying don't die.
Right.
Which is like an easier demand.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He's not doing work, though. He is writing her a love note on a legal pad because he is going to propose. He says, amongst other things, you are the love of what I hope will be my very, very long life.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, it was a very sweet proposal. And then Maggie gets to see what she's been asking for again, which is Lewis Litt's Camoody Booty.
I get to see that Camoody Booty, Lewis
Camoody Booty.
Yeah, no, it was a very sweet proposal, and the writers can't let Lewis have anything endearing without also embarrassing him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mike is then in the library with Rachel, and she is just crushed and pissed and upset because Lewis never told Jessica, and he totally screwed her over. And Mike says, you got to take the emotion out of it. This is a contract problem, so figure out a way to enforce the contract.
Right, which I like that approach.
Yeah.
Like to figure that out.
Right, of course you're hurt, but figure out, like, how to solve the problem.
Right. Jessica says to Harvey, hey, Harvey, you have somebody here to see you. He goes, not now. And then it's Lewis. And he's so excited. He gives him a hug. And then Harvey's a little awkward about it. He's like, help me. Donna's like, hug him back. It's okay to show emotion. And so Lewis tells Harvey that he wants him to be his best man because he's engaged. And Harvey says that he would be honored, which is a nice moment there.
It's so sweet, because they really are friends.
They really are, yeah.
Lewis is just walking around his office, his very small office.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
And he's just walking around and trying to get his blood flowing. And Rachel's like, hey, I want to talk to you about a hypothetical. And she basically presents the exact scenario of what Lewis has agreed to her. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, then if it's paid over more than a year, then it has to be in writing or else it's not enforceable.
Right.
Like, wow, your friend's an idiot. The hypothetical person that worked with your friend probably lied because he could. And this hypothetical person's going to lose because they're dumb for not getting it in writing. And Rachel's just like, you hypothetical asswipe.
Yeah, he is like even more worked up than he normally is about this. So, I feel like this is like a little bit dramatic for the way they did this.
He's like gleefully worked up though.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, of course. Like, that person's so dumb. Go tell them that they're a big fat dumb head.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Lewis and Sheila, and they are lounging in some regal robes, planning the wedding. And I don't know if you noticed how regal they were, but like it almost looked like Lewis thought he was a king of some sort.
And are they not? King and queen of the show.
They might be. King and queen of the writer's desires is what we would say.
For sure.
For sure. So it brings me to a deposition. Do you have like a regal robe? Like, are you a robe person?
Yeah, I wear so many robes. And Kyle has some robes, and I wear all of his robes. I wear lots of different robes. I love robes.
Yeah, I do too.
I love robes.
I travel with a robe.
Oh, you bring your own robe?
I brought one to the beach.
I didn't notice you brought one to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to have a robe.
Yeah, I travel with a robe and usually with house shoes too, so it kind of like makes you feel a little bit more at home.
Nice and cozy.
But I travel with a seasonal robe depending on where we're going.
What's your favorite, I mean, obviously seasonal dependent, but what's your favorite robe texture? Are you like a fleece robe? Are you a silk robe? Are you just a cotton
I do
robe?
love a silk robe, but that's not what I brought to the beach. I have this kind of like all season one that's like a long black, like...
terry cloth.
No, because it's too hot. Like a jersey knit, kind of like a t-shirty, but a little bit more stretchy. It had some spandex to it. It's thin, but it's like longer, a little more conservative than around the family. But yeah, I wear that. But like I think I have like 6 or 7 robes.
Yeah,
they're great.
I do too.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna turn down a robe. I kind of, after seeing that, want to get one that's like a little over the top, like a regal robe. Maybe I want to get my initials on it or something.
Ooh, this makes me want to. I went through a big robe like postpartum. I was like, I have to have very comfortable robes. It was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, it's been a few years. Maybe I should clean out my robes, get some fresh robes.
Maybe our merch store needs a robe.
Should I have a Harvey Specter School of Law merch?
That would be regal looking.
It would
to have
be
the
so
big
regal.
patch right there.
Yes.
I think we have to have them.
Embroidered. I don't know if they make them on Printify, but we will, I think.
We'll shop around.
Look into it for sure.
I think that's the next robe.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, anyways, Lewis and Sheila, back to the regal robes. We discover that when they get married, she thinks they're moving to Boston, and he thinks they're moving to New York.
Yeah, this is a big misunderstanding.
And he says, everything I have is in New York. And
Also,
she says, everything except me.
Ugh.
Not good.
Not good, not good. Oh no, Trouble in Paradise. Yeah, I hated this scene. It was very sad to me. Then Rachel's just zoning out, and Donna's like, it's okay, Lewis is better. And Rachel's like, no, I actually hate Lewis. And Donna says, you don't need to give him a chance to explain himself. Donna's like, hey, like, give him a chance to explain himself, because you were giving him a hypothetical situation. And Rachel's like, no, the problem is he made me look like a chump. He made me look so dumb. And then Donna's like, oh, I have an idea. I know how you can solve this. And in my head, I was like, they're going to mock trial.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, a mock trial where Rachel gets her tuition paid. That's not what ends up happening, but it was something that I thought should happen. Meanwhile, Lewis is looking out the window while Jessica comes to congratulate him on his wedding. He's in his office, and she got him a framed photo of the Pearson Hardman retreat from 5 years ago.
And he loves this.
And he adds it to his collection of photos.
Yes.
And then Jessica calls him family.
Yeah, and then he starts to cry.
Yeah.
Because this is like the reason he doesn't want to leave
New York.
New York, because of his family.
And this is his family, more so than even his real family, because we know he does not like his sister.
Not really.
And
Esther.
his parents love Harvey more
He
than...
and Esther are not friends.
No.
And his parents, they do want to... They want to get to know Harvey a little better.
And so he's like, Pearson Hardman's my family. Sheila's my future, but maybe this isn't going to work out.
Right.
Jessica and Harvey are then meeting about, quote unquote, some managerial bullshit. Turns out the managerial bullshit is Rachel and her entire situation.
Right.
So she's like, it's me. Hi, I'm the managerial bullshit. It's me. She asks to make a new contract. Rachel wants an advance on her signing bonus, and she will work part-time in the summer, and this is how she can pay for law school. She doesn't need the signing bonus because she's already coming to Pearson Hardman, so this is just an investment, and save the money later, pay now.
Yeah, and Jessica's like, well, we can't break precedent because we've never done that. She goes, I'm not asking you to do that. You have when you paid for Harvey's law school. And then Harvey, as cute as he has ever been, he goes, I'm Exhibit A.
He's having so much fun in this room. He loves it.
He is, and I wrote that he is my Exhibit A.
He's Exhibit
He's
A.
A+ adorable in that scene.
It was very cute.
Well, I'm Exhibit A.
It's so fun when Harvey loosens up a little. That's when he really shines.
When the shoulders drop,
and his smile comes out,
and he's ready to party.
Who's not ready to party is Lewis, who's still depressed about all of this, but he goes in and look who's there in his
Sheila
office,
says.
adding a photo of her own to his desk. So now he has his family from Pearson Hardman and his future of Sheila.
And a lot of pictures of himself.
A lot of pictures of himself.
Yeah.
Lewis is like, it's so hard because you're the only person who gets me, and it's taken a long time for the people at Pearson Hardman to get me. Like, they don't understand how I love mudding. And Sheila's like, your love of mudding is not weird. Like, she fully embraces who Lewis is, and he's worried that he can't move to Boston and people will not embrace him the way that Pearson Hardman has finally started to embrace him. So he says, please don't make me leave my family. And Sheila says, I'm going to move to New York.
She's going to do it. She's going to leave Harvard. And he's like, oh my gosh, we're going to be so great when we have kids. And then her face just drops because she doesn't want kids. She's never going to want kids. And he's like, hey, when they're yours, it's going to be so different and you're going to love them. She's like, I'm never going to feel that way. I do not want kids.
She loves them when they're 22 and they're going to law school.
Yes, she does not like kids. They don't get her. She doesn't like them. He was like, wait a minute. And then she goes, I was going to leave Harvard for you, give up Harvard for you. You can't give up something for me. Yeah. And he can't.
Because he wants to be a dad.
Little Lewis Litt dick.
Yeah. I mean, this feels like...
Better now than later.
Better now than later. And it does feel like wanting to be a parent feels different in some ways than like where you work. But honestly, it should be like, if she's not... It's like Lewis wants her to make his own personal family and be with his professional family, and he's asking her to put everything on the side.
Yes.
And that's not gonna be it.
No, there's no compromise here.
No compromise.
What it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. And then we hear her sad guitar music because she is sobbing over at the elevator, and which is kind of an awkward place to stand publicly.
She's looking away.
But still, like...
Donna sees it.
Just leave. Donna sees her. Of course she does.
She has to wait. How awkward is that? You're sobbing. Your fiance and you just broke up. You're standing by an elevator, and you just want the elevator door to open, but you can't. You have to wait. You have to wait for the elevator to open.
It could have, but her back was turned to it.
She would hear the ding-ding.
Maybe. She could hear the ding-ding. So this is kind of like a compilation of things that are happening at the very end of this whole thing.
Wait, real quick. Have you ever sobbed in a really public place and not been able to find, like, the elevator, the metaphorical elevator has not come?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. That's not like, one moment that
like
I remember.
Several. Yeah, it's like so many moments that you can't even remember. So that's just
so many. I don't just like walk around crying.
Oh, you don't?
randomly at Albertsons. Well, I do cry because I wish that Albertsons was not my store.
I know, you wish, yeah.
God, I've got to fix that. Q3, you know?
Build a new grocery store.
Yeah, or just find one. Have you cried in public?
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't find the elevator?
Oh, yeah. But then you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to be crying in public. I just want to get to my car or home. But I have to first wait in this lobby for this elevator door. And there's Donna's right behind me. Don't turn around. Donna's looking at you like you're a crying weirdo.
Wow, you sound like you're from East Texas just now.
Did I? Mm-hmm. Well, look at me. I'm a regular old lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, in this montage, sorry.
Yeah, it's a whole montage. And then we see, like, Rachel, she's smiling because she got what she wanted. So it goes from Sheila being sad to Rachel, she's smiling because she got what she wanted. Donna goes in and comforts Lewis, who's sitting and sits next to him just in silence while he's very sad. Mike comes into Rachel's office and they celebrate together. Like, it's a whole thing of, like, all these different emotions. It's also, like, a good, you know, reminder of in life. Like, some people could be, like, having a really great day and then this other person could be literally falling apart. And you have to remember that.
They're like one wall away.
What's going on.
You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on in somebody's life. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? Well, what's going on with Giannopoulos?
Tony Giannopoulos.
Tony Giannopoulos. And Harvey and Scotty and Mike all rolled into this storyline.
Roll it up, roll it up, roll it up. It's on
fire! So this part starts with Harvey has a soy caramel latte. This is right after we've seen Lewis post-sex with Saz, and they're having this tickle fight. Rachel and Mike are having this weird, not listening breakfast. And then
milky vase.
Milky vases. And then we see Harvey, and he's carrying a soy caramel latte. It's definitely an apology latte, as Donna notes. He doesn't even know that Scotty's not in the office today. And Donna's like, your coffee is not going to cut it, but I will take this coffee because Scotty is not here to eat it.
Yeah.
And by eat it, I mean drink it. You don't eat a latte, you drink a latte.
Depends on how much whipped cream they have on top of it.
That's me eating a latte.
Okay, we see Harvey and Jessica. Turns out Mike didn't tell Harvey about the conversation with Jessica. The conversation being when Jessica says, hey, you got to be completely, like, erased from this case. You can't be interviewed. This is your ceiling. Sorry about you. You're not a real lawyer. Okay?
Harvey's like, I thought he knew.
And she's like, well, he didn't know, but he knows now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he knew, but he didn't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't know.
Yeah. Then Harvey and Mike are in a meeting with Tony Giannopoulos and his second, which is Jonathan, right? Tony Giannopoulos is a hard client. Like,
he's not easy.
Very demanding.
He's not easy peasy.
And he's like, I don't want this person to spin off, or I don't want this person to leave my company. Mm-hmm. Mike's like, hey, here's a solution. We can spin off the company. It's a win-win. Mm-hmm. And Tony's like, okay, junior associate came up with a solution. Mm-hmm. He calls Mike boy. Mike realizes I'm always going to be a junior associate. Mm-hmm. I cannot rise above this. Mm-hmm. So as they're leaving this meeting, Mike's upset that Harvey didn't push back and didn't change Tony's mind.
Yeah.
And Harvey's like, oh, you can't change Tony's mind on that.
It's Tony Giannopoulos.
You just play the game.
Yeah, he's also our client.
Mm-hmm. So then Donna's in the office, and then Jessica comes in to tell everyone about Lewis's heart attack.
Yes, he has had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And he told Norma he doesn't want anyone there, which means he definitely wants Donna. So we find out, of course, she went and saw him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jessica does not want any clients to find out what's happened. Like, no balls are dropped. This is business as usual. Literally nobody needs to know. So she's going to send flowers from all of them. And Harvey says, don't. He's allergic. And she goes, how do you know? He goes, I used to send them to him every day when we were associates.
Which is so mean.
Yeah.
This reminds me, when I was in high school, I had a friend who applied to a bunch of colleges. Very smart girl, super great resume, but she kept getting rejected, and it was like I didn't know why she was getting rejected.
Yeah.
And so I made her a cookie cake, and on the cookie cake it said, I'm sorry you keep getting rejected from colleges. Because I thought it was like almost comical. Like, she's obviously going to go to college. But I guess I got a big one because I wanted it to be like yummy and she could share it with people, but she couldn't put it in her locker, and so she had to carry it around.
Maggie, this is awful.
She had to carry it around all day. No one ate it. So, like, the copy was just there all day. I really was not trying to be mean about it.
Did anybody check you at home before you walked out the door with it?
No, I ordered it from Wegman. I ordered it from the grocery store.
Okay.
And I just went to pick it up, brought it to school, gave it to her.
This is one of those things we talk about at work where it's like intent versus impact. You know?
Right, yeah.
Or you used to say, like, this came out sideways.
Definitely came out sideways. It was one of those things I was like, this is so ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, don't worry. I meant to be like, don't worry about it, because you're obviously going to get into a school that's going to be the great school. I don't know what's wrong with these other ones. But then it wasn't funny how it was on the cake.
Yeah. Did she get into school?
She did.
A good one?
Yeah, a great school. She has a lovely life.
Great.
Lovely, lovely life.
Can we get her on the podcast?
She did message me a few years ago to remind me. I didn't realize at the time that she couldn't put the cake in her locker. So she messaged me to remind me that...
So y'all are on good terms?
Yeah.
Would you message her and send her this episode?
I'll send her this clip.
Okay.
And, I'd like to formally apologize for the impact.
Yeah. The intent was there.
But honestly, it probably... put in the universe that she was going to have a great life.
You don't want to downplay your apology.
No, I just, it was, anyways, so Harvey.
Okay, so yeah, you brought it up. Anyways, they're like, is he going to be okay? And Harvey does have some legit tears. Like, you can tell he's worked up about Lewis. Mike and Jonathan Sidwell are in the conference room. And he's looking for Lewis because he wants to talk to him about what happened in the deposition. And, of course, he's not there. He said he wants to leave Giannopoulos because he's always kicking people when they're down. And he wants to know if Mike can help him without, like, helping him. And he's like, I can't. He's like, where's Lewis Litt? He's like, he's not here. Like, I can't. He goes, okay, well, I'm putting you on notice. He's no longer my attorney. And so Mike's thinking through the lens of, we have to take care of his clients. We don't drop the ball. We don't do anything. And it's tricky because... Jonathan Sidwell is a client, but also so is Tony Giannopoulos' firm. Right before Jonathan steps out the door, Mike says, Michigan Court of Appeals. He said, look into it. There was a case there where somebody was able to find a loophole in a non-compete.
It's funny when this scene happened. I don't think that Mike was genuinely thinking I have to save Lewis's client. Mm-hmm. I think he was really resonating and relating to everything that Jonathan was saying. Yeah. Because it's all about being the second, about never being able to rise above, being trapped, that you can't leave. And so when he says, I'm going to fire Lewis, that gives Mike an out and like a alibi or like a reason for why he did what he did. But I don't think it's because of Lewis.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I think he wanted to do it really bad because and then he was like, no, I can do it because you've said this.
Okay. So Harvey meets with Tony, and Tony's like, you screwed me over. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, Harvey needs to find a way to make Jonathan stay without breaking this non-compete. Harvey tells him not to stomp around like a 4-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, and he also says, if you continue to act like this, I'll be the one firing you. Like, Harvey lits him up.
Yeah. Harvey specters him.
Yeah.
Specters him with his specter scepter.
Yep. Then he goes in and confronts Mike in the bathroom, and Mike says it's because he was going to fire Lewis. He was trying to protect. That's what Jessica said. Don't let us drop the balls or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is really about the meeting with Jessica. This is what Harvey says, and he says when people are unhappy, they find a way out. Harvey says, "Don't quote precedent to me," because he starts quoting precedent, and I loved that line. Mm-hmm. He said, "You're a pretty good lawyer when you want to be, so maybe go try and do it for the other side." This is what we call a sick burn.
Do it for our side next time.
And basically, Harvey dropped the mic on Mike.
Yeah, it was like Mike thinks he's dropping the mic, and then Harvey comes in with a huge, ginormous anvil mic. So Mike goes to the pony races with Mr. Kovacs. Mm-hmm. This is who Jonathan wants to work for. Mm-hmm. And Mike's like, hey, very cool. You can hire Jonathan, but that algorithm that he developed is actually intellectual property of Giannopoulos. So you'll get him, but you can't use any of the things that he's developed that make him worthwhile.
Yeah.
So he basically, Mike has given Jonathan help, but then shut down the help. So Mike then, the next time we see him, he's being confronted by Jonathan on the streets, of course, where all good confrontations happen. Jonathan is like, great, now I'm worth nothing because of what you did. So I'm going to be stuck at the same job forever. Thanks a lot. You screwed me over.
Yeah.
And so you come to see me in 10 years and I'll be just slugging away miserable because I cannot work anywhere else now. I am trapped. Sounds familiar to Mike.
Yes. Oh, yes. To Mike. Then Mike goes to see Harvey at his apartment. And I want to talk really quick about what Harvey's wearing his shirt. Do you remember this?
Trying to remember. Normally I remember Harvey's non-suit shirts.
Okay, he is wearing a white V-neck tee. It's a nice one. And a navy V-neck cardigan on top of it.
Yes.
So it's got a double V.
Yes.
I was curious what you thought about that.
I like it.
It's, of course, stunning. It's stunning. Truly.
The way you asked, I was curious what you thought about that. Made me think, like, I like it, but is there something about a double V that you shouldn't like? But then how you came back with, it's of course stunning.
It's stunning.
Of course it is. Not everyone can pull off a double V.
Well, but my sweet little Harvey can.
My sweet little Harvey.
My exhibit A.
So Mike wants to go legit. He's like, hey, I can go get a real degree. I can actually go to law school. And Harvey's like, no. Committing another fraud to cover up your fraud is not a good idea. Because he also says I could hack into the bar.
Right.
I could just do that. And he's like, Harvey, I am stuck. There's no way up. There's no way down. I cannot live my life like this.
Which is true.
So then they go and they stand in front of Harvey's window. And he goes, there's only one way. You go to a small school in Iowa. You'd be king of the hill, but you could never come back to the mountain.
No. He was like, you're in the big leagues. You can't do it. You can't go up to Chicago or New York or LA. He said, my advice, hold on tight and enjoy the ride.
So here's my question, though. Let's say Mike goes to small Iowa school.
Right.
And then he becomes a really great lawyer in Iowa. Who's to say he can't pass the bar in another state and begin practicing in another state and work at a big firm in another state?
He could, but the thing is that the reason he's saying, like, he can't be at a place where somebody's going to know him, because why would somebody who quote unquote went to Harvard Law School be going to Iowa State Law School? So he could, you know what I'm saying? Like, that could kind of get out. So he's basically like, he needs to go somewhere where nobody's going to check on him and figure out that he actually went to Harvard Law or didn't.
Oh, but I thought he was going to go back to school then go to get his law degree.
But if he gets a law degree and then tries to go to a big firm, like in one of the bigger cities, then people are going to be like, why did you go to Iowa State Law School? Like, he needs to go somewhere small and get his law degree and just crush it, you know, be whatever, valedictorian or whatever it is,
yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Because if he goes, like, if he gets that law degree at Iowa State, let's say, and then he goes to work at...
Although Iowa State's a pretty big university.
Okay, we'll pick Iowa Community Law School, whatever. And so he can't come back to New York, Chicago, LA, Boston, anything like that, because somebody will know in that
because it's
circle.
not a top 50.
Yeah, he needs to go somewhere that's smaller and can fly under the radar. Still be king of the hill, but in a small city.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have the type of cases that he gets at Pearson Hardman.
No.
His brain would not be.
Because somebody would figure it out. They'd be like, wait a minute. That's a guy who used to work with Harvey Specter. Because Harvey Specter is so well known.
Such a name.
And Jessica, too. He can't dodge that, and people would know that that's who it was. They're like, wait a minute, that guy went to Harvard. Why did he go back to school to get another law? Like, and then everything would be flagged.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people...
kind of like the witness protection program for lawyers.
Go to Iowa. So Harvey says, just hold on tight and enjoy the ride.
Yep.
Which I was like, uh-oh.
Not
Seems
good
like
advice.
It's gonna be a roller coaster.
Right?
Mike then decides he's going to help Jonathan.
Yeah.
Because if he can't get out.
Yeah, he's got a business solution where everyone wins.
Yep. And that solution seemed convoluted to me, so I think it's just, that's what it is, a business solution.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Mike and Jonathan are then in the conference room because everything worked out.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I want you to join my new corporation. And he's like, but I don't want you as general counsel. We're investment bankers.
Yeah.
Which, this is his out. And also, I thought this was so interesting because when Suits was originally written...
It was supposed to be about investment banking.
Yes. So I was like, look at this. Now we can have the show that...
Aaron Korsh always wanted.
Yes. Aaron Korsh always wanted the show about investment bankers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great.
Yeah, he's like, you're in the minor leagues here. I'm giving you a chance to play in the majors. But last night, Harvey had said you're in the major leagues.
But investment bankers are actually the major leagues.
They are the major leagues.
Because we run circles around the stuff you're doing here. You figured out how to, like, get my algorithm out. Like, you are. Because when we first met Jonathan, he told Lewis, like, you're a lawyer. We're investment bankers. Like, we eat you for breakfast.
Yes.
So this feels like a good spot for him.
Right?
So Mike is contemplating the offer to be an investment banker, and he takes that offer letter and he puts it in his desk, where on the very first day at that desk he put his weed suitcase.
Oh, yeah. His weed suitcase.
Yeah, or briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
How times have changed.
Right.
So then this ends with Harvey just alone at his desk, looking sad. And Donna comes in and tells him to give Scotty a call. Apologize with a call, not a coffee.
Yeah. She's smart.
She's smart.
I don't know. Can you hear that noise?
Are you? Oh,
community booty. Community booty. Community booty. Community booty. All aboard community booty. All aboard community booty. All aboard community booty. Headed straight to Prediction Town. Woo!
Going into the station. I spit all over my iPad. Okay. I do not think Mike is going to become an investment banker because he has to stay on the show. But this would be a great out for him, and it's dumb that he's not choosing it.
Okay.
I think that Rachel is going to blow past him professionally, and he's going to become insecure and mean about it, and that they will eventually break up so that she can marry a prince.
Is that Kyle's
That's
prediction?
Kyle's addition. But I do think that, like, if he had investment banking, he can rise in the ranks and keep up. I think Rachel's going to professionally do really well.
Yeah.
And Mike is so smart and so capable, but he cannot rise above the fry cook level of law firm.
Okay.
And he should be head chef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lewis and Sheila, I think, will get back together, and maybe they adopt a cat.
Okay.
And Katrina should help him realize that he is a father figure to all of the associates.
Oh, he can play daddy to all the associates.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to have, like, children of his own loin. He can be a father figure.
Okay.
Scotty and Harvey, I think, are going to be fine when she gets back. Maybe not forever, but I think for the rest of the season, they're going to be fine. And then maybe at the end of the season, someone comes back and tries to rock the boat.
Okay.
Like last episode.
Okay. These are great predictions.
Thank you.
These are my predictions.
These are my predictions.
It's been unbelievable that we only have 2 more episodes left.
I know. It is ramping up.
Yeah. We'll be watching the season finale together.
Yes.
Because we do that, and then we do our predictions and everything like that. So
Possibly
it's exciting.
in robes. Possibly in robes.
Possibly in robes, yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the Harvey Specter monthly newsletter that drops the first of every month. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't have anything nice to say, you can eat it.
I think it's pretty tight.
That was super tight.
Was that tight titties?
That was some tight titties.
Tight titties.
Super
it felt
tight.
like snippety snap snap, the snap snap snappy.
I was like, there's going to be no edits for Amanda.
I don't think there'll be a couple.